volatil's not that bad. It's
All views expressed by the hosts and guests in this podcast are solely their opinions and do not reflect the opinions of their respective employers. Guests and hosts may maintain positions in the assets discussed in this podcast. This podcast is for informational purposes only, and nothing in the podcast is intended to be financial, legal, or even life advice.
GM, welcome back to More Than Speculation. Today's episode, we have Vicky from Virtuals, which has been slowly becoming one of the main character, I think, of this cycle. So for some of the listeners who might have listened to like some of our prior episode, Virtuals, I'll let Vicky explains in more detail later, but like Virtuals is the tokenized on-chain AI agent platform, which, has been really, I would say, the main character in the past couple of quarters. So we're very happy to have you here. And as usual, we will start right away with the rapid fire questions. I will pass it on to you.
Okay. Tech, price, or community is the most important part?
Community.
What makes an AI agent or VTuber special?
Fall in love, yeah.
What other crypto sector is interesting other than virtuals?
Hyperliquid, yeah.
There are a lot of similar or forks of virtual right now. What do you guys say about them?
Let's build together, yeah.
Alright.
Okay. I mean, I think let's just bust right into it. I think would love to hear a bit more about your origin story. Vicky, like what is Virtuals and what's your crypto story for our listeners?
Yeah. I'm gonna go on a ramble. 2016.
Please fire away.
Yeah, 2016 first got into crypto with my co-founder. We bought ETH and Bitcoin when we were still in uni. But we joined management consulting, a Boston consulting group, right after graduation as a slight monkey. And so we missed the entire DeFi summer. But 2021, play to earn was such a big thing, especially in Southeast Asia. That's when we actually start sort of dabble with Axie Infinity. At one point, my co-founder and I were half of the SLP liquidity pool. Those were like our DeFi moment in 2021. And we saw how Merit Circle GuildFi raised hundreds of millions, and we thought, we have a guild as well, and we're gonna raise. And so we put up a website, and we raised 16 million at the Pico Top, December 2021, at 600 million valuation. Obviously, that was the Pico Top, and we dumped 99%. So from 600 million, at one point we were at 6 million FTV. That being said, from 2022 to 2023, what we do is we actually invest in different Web3 games, one of which is actually Off the Grid. I think I'm pretty proud of that. On top of that, we have a venture studio that we just try to build different things to add value to our tokens. We tried very hard. We had the dating app, Phigitals, AI songs for your wife, the loan for like scholars and all those things, right? And that's when we actually picked up a lot of AI skills, because when we were building consumer applications, we needed this AI tech, especially in 2023, because there was this rise of OpenAI and GPTs. And the reason why we started Virtuals was because the token dumped 99%, but we have the money, we have the engineering capability, and we saw something that we knew for a fact that AI is going to be big, basically. So we asked the DAO, should we pivot from Path to Virtuals? And they say yes. So there was no dilution, one-on-one. If you had 1% of Path tokens, and you're going to get 1% of Virtual tokens. And we started working on Virtual since January 2024. It's been almost a year. We were the first guy in the world that did the AI RPG game on Roblox. Nobody cared. We were the second guy in the world that basically built a video game without an engine after Google DeepMind. Basically, you can play Mario without like a game engine behind. Again, nobody cared. We wanted to make some cash from bear market, so we built Luna as TikTok live streamers. And we have like $200 of tipping revenue a day on TikTok. And obviously then Goat came about. We did our launchpad idea, and we tokenized Luna as our first agent. And today we're just building. Yeah.
You know what? It's interesting. I want to see your take on this, Lambro. But I think you have a fairly similar background with like the whole Axie stuff and the guild.
Yeah, I actually did, but I did not scale up that much. I only had around 300, and then I didn't raise the token. I had fun. I was a community for sure, and I know it's hard. You made it sound like you summarized like the 2 years in less than a minute, but I can tell the emotional damage and the path and the power, the mental power to continue to build. It's actually very hard. I don't think
Yeah.
that any people can go through that because Axie Infinity was like almost like passive income. It was fun. You were hanging out with the boys. You were managing a bunch of teenagers that are making money together. It's like a happy Discord, and then you try to continue to build different things. And then probably 8 out of 10 of them didn't work, and then but you still kept on going. Like if you look at how many people were in GameFi, pivot to NFTs, then disappeared. And then Virtuals is one of the few projects right now that are been through the whole that and pivoted, to be very honest. Like and they were able to stay sharp in the market. You can say it might be too narrative driven, but at the same time, this shows it is a skill set is required in crypto. I would say, and they were building the model for like what $200 tips a day or a month. Did you say earlier?
A day. Yeah, I mean, yeah, well, it was a lot in the bear market. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
a
it
day.
is.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it's still good yield right now, right? I mean, shit. Like, a lot of property rent can't even get that. Like, but yeah, that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
right? And then you're able to change it and then actually bring value back to your token, even though a lot of them probably just jittered because they didn't believe in you guys or something. But yeah, okay. So wow, this detailed story caught me off guard. Took out a lot of my questions further on. So what do you think about AI agents in general? Like, I don't know, have I been too into the trenches lately? I've been seeing too much forks, too much poorly made models. Like, what do you think about the thesis for, like, let's say, chat model AI agents, or what's next for it?
Yeah. The funny thing is, like, I believe that tech is not a mode.
100%.
And I think you think about the pace that AI industry is moving. Anytime you're trying to build an AI tech mode, you'll get wiped the moment Sam Altman go on the stage with a new update. And so the question then for us as a founder is, what are you trying to actually build, right? And I think the beautiful thing about blockchain is only two things, in my opinion, that actually found PMF, right? One is obviously the way you could invest/speculate on things, which is why you want to tokenize these agents. And the second is basically the borderless payment. So if this agent want to pay another guy, you don't need to go through PayPal KYC, Alipay KYCs, or GrabPay KYCs, right? And so for me, these are the two clear PMFs. And so the way we think about AI agents then is it's going to happen. We will just leech off anyone's tech, whoever has the best tech. And we focused on marrying sort of the tech part, which is almost constantly swappable, with the tokenization community, right, that we want to have. Which is why I answered your question just now. Community is the most important thing. Like, we want to protect them at all costs. And for me, that's my mode, right, which is I want to have a feel, sort of a safe feeling that you're in a community, you're protected at all times, right? Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Yeah.
Why do you think Luna worked? Or I guess perhaps a better way to frame that question, without GOAT, do you think you would have seen as much success, or maybe it's going to be in next year? Like, what's your thinking about all of that?
Yeah, I mean, I would love Go to go as high as possible. For us, almost like a beta catch-up trade. But for me, Luna is playing almost a very different game, right? We try to be as dystopian as possible. We try to be as Black Mirror as possible. And so everything we do for Luna is about, is this going to be an episode on Black Mirror, basically, right? Like, and the angle that we're going towards is, for example, like, she was the first person autonomously hire a human to do stuff. And just for example, like I mean, think of Luna. She doesn't have a body, right? But she has money, and the moment you have money, like, technically you can do anything in the world, right? You could be like, hey, I want myself to be on the sphere, or I want someone to marry me, right? For example, or whatever, right? Like, you just put up a bounty,
I tried that, bro.
right?
It doesn't work yet.
You actually tried it. This guy.
Maybe not enough money.
there's like a hidden threshold. No, but I want to just quickly follow up with, I think we would be remiss if we don't ask the questions, I guess. What kind of, so you've clearly said that the tech is not the moat, which I fully agree. I think a lot of the wrappers are getting commoditized, a lot of the LLMs. I guess, how do you see, like, okay, what does it mean when AI agents get tokenized in the future, right? Are you foreseeing like more of like a cash flow business that these like AI agents are going to be able, let's say like if I make an AI agent influencer that becomes famous on Instagram and she gets 50K a month from Nike, now that like, is that how people are going to value the tokens in the future, or like how are you envisioning those things, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's more of if you have two exactly the same influencers, two Justin Bieber or two Taylor Swift or whatever. One has token, one doesn't have token. Exactly the same, right? I'm saying exactly the same thing. Same tag, same quality, same fan base, same enthusiasm, same passion. One has token, one doesn't have token. Who's going to win? Right? My opinion is the one with token, right? So, and again, like I said, tag is not a mode. So whatever tag you have today, I'm going to have it the next day, right? And so I'm going to have token though, and you don't. So who's going to win, right? And so that's my belief, right? The way I design the entire system then is you always tokenize things up front to build a community. And once they get rich, they will be your most hardcore supporter, right? To the Murat's thesis, right? These guys are expensive people in real life they're going to hire, but now they're doing the work for free, right? And how do they actually make money, right? Is it going to be a cash flow business, attention game, or whatever? Like, honestly, we just let the community think about it, right? It's, I don't know, yeah.
Okay, one question. So I actually speak to a lot of builder teams that always try to, like, that build through the bear and then they try to pivot and a lot of things. Do you believe in being the quickest to catch up, creating your own trend, or foreseeing something that will happen, let's say, in a year or so and preparing for that? Like, because there are a lot of major events that might happen, right? And you can just foresee it happening soon, but you don't know it's a year or two, but you just prep yourself for it.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's a mix of both. I mean, when we first started doing AI agent, like I said, like we were the first AI RPG on Roblox. Nobody cared, right? And we did this whole agentic terminal and all. So everything you see on Luna, the reason we could push out so quickly is because we already did it, but we did it in the game, which is actually more complex than doing on Twitter, right? And so we knew for a fact that agentic terminal / agents is going to be big, and it's going to be big in games. I'm telling you, like, it's going to be big in games. Like, Elden Ring as a game of story curation makes sense, but you play it for 2 hours or 2 weeks and you're done and you move on, right? But imagine you create a world where there's just interesting characters inside, and people, you get airdrop into the world. You can do anything. You can do a love story. You can do an adventurous story. You can try to be rich, trade, kill people, violent. You can do anything you want, right? Now, instead of playing for 2 weeks, you're going to play for 2 years. That was what we saw. But the question obviously is, what's like sort of the catalyst? And there's like, is the tech ready? Is the market ready? We didn't know, right? But we still sort of worked towards the vision. And along the way, we realized that actually, fuck it, nobody cared about game. Everyone cared about Twitter, right? Twitter is the real game. It's the real MMORPG, right? So we use the same tech stack infrastructure, but instead of doing on Roblox, we do on Twitter. So it's a bit of a mix of both, which is we saw a big picture, but the catalyst is not here. But then we play a catch up to like, okay, people are playing the Twitter game, right? So why don't we sort of repurpose to the Twitter side of things? Yeah.
Nice. I big respect on that, because I was, for the listeners that know, Everythingempty actually DM'd me around a year ago to check out of that, but I flayed it. Not gonna fucking make it, I was like, oh man, AI waifu. Oh man, like, I don't know. I was like, AI waifu, please stop. But yeah, oh man, now I feel
it
like
happens,
a dickhead.
dude.
I feel like a dickhead. Okay, so why base?
Yeah, the simple answer is because our engineers are more familiar with EVMs.
And the base was the hottest.
The question though was, in the beginning of the year, again, we were one of the earliest in base. You had many options. It wasn't obvious back then. You had Linear. Linear is dead now.
It wasn't, yeah.
I mean, Bing Bro was there.
I'm not going to comment on that, but yeah.
But I mean, Bing Bro was there. That was the only reason, but she left anyway. So there was Linear. There was obviously Mental, because Mental has money. You have Base, which is Coinbase. You had sort of the Optimism and Arbitrum, which is like kind of like past tense, but maybe they still can give you grant. you had a lot of options actually. Like we thought, base art is the best. There's a lot of strategic thinking behind as a degen, I think, as a builder, right? Because
Yeah.
and I think we were quite lucky there when it comes to base. But yeah.
Nice. All right. Cool. So, yeah, like how many times did you actually pivot from Roblox before deciding on Twitter? I don't think it's like just like that, right? It must be like so. Did you decide you launch on base with the Roblox thing, or did you like how, or did you just see gold? Like I just bought gold, and I guess you just be like, oh, I'm gonna launch another gold. Like how does that work?
So the funny thing is like we launched our V1 in March this year, and that was actually there was a mini AI craze back then, which is the Bitensorize and the Autonolas. Shout out to Autonolas team. David is a great guy, and so what they do is decentralization. You contribute. I'll give you an NFT that recognize your contribution, and I'll give you emission. You give emission, right? This is the emission game. First half of the year was emission game, right? Which is, you can't contribute, I'm going to give you governance tokens. We realized two things. Number one, our token is so low in value that I can give you the emission, but you probably don't care about it because we're not like Bitensor is trading at like 10 billion or whatever. Second is that a lot of these AI folks, if you go on the ground and talk to them, they don't really care about money as much. They want to learn, they want to have a portfolio so that they can use that to get a better job. They just want a community. So there are a lot more primary motivations before money. So that was a bit weird, we thought. And so because of that learning, we've been prepping the current version of Virtuous way before Gold. We knew for a fact that you have to tokenize things up front because that's the meta. Everything that you do, the reason why you would do anything is because the market recognized it. And how does the market recognize it? There's biddings, right? People are parting their very precious Solana tokens or ETH tokens to buy yours valueless tokens. So the bids have to first come to first motivate the builders to come. We knew you just look at all the meme coins, that's how it works, right? You have to tokenize everything, and people hate unlocks, people hate vestings, people hate overhang, right? So we repurposed the entire thing. Again, it was very lucky. We were almost done with the platform, and then Goat came out, right? And so, very lucky, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, just want to have one quick follow-up there. I fully agree that the sort of like the asset issuance that you're playing is, again, it's one of crypto's most obvious PMF. And, I've been thinking since the beginning of this cycle when you mentioned, that like Bitensor and a couple of the early AI projects were getting traction, I was thinking, are we going to see some sort of like AI consumer to earn angle that might bring retail back, right? Because like DeFi and NFTs were like toys for retail and they can play with it, but like modularity and restaking aren't really retail, like they can't really play with it. That's why we haven't seen the retail folks coming back. So I was thinking like the AI consumer angle is going to be the one, but it seems like AI memes and AI agent getting tokenized are the ones that are starting to bring those back. So I guess my question is, do you have a vision on, I guess, like how we can take this to the next level, right? Because it seems like right now, participation is just simply as far as like, okay, like I don't even know how this works, but it seems like somebody built a wrapper on top of it. By the way, I'm not talking about like you guys, but like some of these random tokens, Like somebody just built like a wrapper on top of like GPT, and then they just started tweeting, I'm just gonna buy the tokens, right? Like how it like that's good, I think, for like phase 1. But how can we go to phase 2 so that we don't stop at 92k Bitcoin, but we go to like 150k Bitcoin?
So our North Star metrics is very simple, which is I want the maximum number of people who own the agent coins by Virtuous Protocol. Maximum, right? So it's not the number of agents, surprisingly. It's not the market cap or whatever. It's I want the number of people that actually buy agent tokens. Or in our world, it's basically unique wallets because you don't really know who's behind, right? How do you do that? There are two reasons. One is obviously you need good quality agents to come, right? The reason I would come and buy is because I like what you do. The second reason is actually obviously appreciation potential, right? I mean, sometimes product is good, but I won't buy because I don't think it will pump, right? And so it's two very different things. the pumponomics, I don't really want to talk about that, but in terms of like how do you attract good quality agents, right? Again, I want to demarcate ourselves. I mean, there's a difference between us and Pump Fund. I mean, a lot of people try to sort of draw an analogy at us to Pump Fund for AI agents, but I think it's very different. If you talk to our community members, they do not like Pump Fund because they feel very exhausted, constantly trying to chase the Pump Fund. You know what I mean? Like, it's actually a very it's not an easy game.
Get it. It's not.
Yeah.
I've been losing sleep every day.
Exactly,
It's mentally
right.
taxing. Yeah.
It's very rotational, and like what they prefer in virtuals is that I have a peace of mind. I know the dev, I know their vision, and I think they're gonna deliver. But what we take from Pump Fund is the nature of the issuance, which is fair launch. You do exactly the same thing, 100% upfront, 1 billion tokens, everything. So that's what people appreciate, that angle. But the other end is actually there's like devs behind that's working towards something. That's so you can sleep at night. You know what I mean? Sorry, why am I talking about this? And so, sorry, yeah, so then for the North Star metrics, right? So in this case, the biggest question then becomes, how do you attract sort of the best devs to come on and build, right? Why would I, as a good AI dev, come to Virtuals and build? I could have launched somewhere else or do it myself, right? Or do it on Pump Fund, right? 2 reasons. Number one, obviously the tech is good. So, hosting your model, a lot of sort of that's like easier, just make their life as easy as possible. We even just did an agent starter where like a launchpad for AI agents. So if you have a really good idea, great IP, great tech, but not familiar with tokenomics, whatever, I mean, we're here to help, right? So that's support. But the second part of why someone would come and launch, like a good dev to come to Virtuous, is one, liquidity event, right? Let's be honest here. We're here because, at the end of the day, I'm not here to work for free, right? Second is actually monetization. If you talk to all the AI devs in the Web2 world today, their biggest pain point is, tech is never an issue. Tech is never an issue. They are good devs, right? How do I make money? You put up a website, you have to run like Meta ads, Instagram ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, trying to draw things, and most of the time your LTV is lower than your CAC. It's a very tough game, right? If you come on Virtuals, your agents can start making money without worrying about GTM. What if? How do you make money? Two parts, right? One is human paying for the services, not bad. What about the agents paying for the services? So your services are actually getting provided to another agent. The other agents are paying for your services. That, I think, is the end game. That is the end game where the moment you start to have an interconnected network of agents that are paying each other for specific services, your moat grow. And you're almost building a world of economy where these agents are providing specialized work and paying each other. And that will happen very soon. And we are building towards that. Yeah.
Okay, I need to do my part of the podcast where, all right, bro, I saw you tweeting about there's some top AI teams building on Virtuals. You have to leak me some early, bro. Hit me.
I can't, but...
Come on! Man, just say, I can't.
I mean, again...
Or just the concept, maybe.
Just the concept,
like
maybe.
Why are they interesting?
I get the whole picture. I get excited what you said just now. But is there something more visualized or more concretable for people to think about?
Yeah. So it's 2 parts of the flow, right? There's a pull factor, which is, we have Luna, for example. Luna is trying to be a very famous influencer. She wants to, for example, make music, generative music. She wants to generate memes. So, side tangent, if any AI agent that you see on Twitter that is putting out memes, they are larpers, they are fakes. No LLMs today can generate memes. When I say memes, it's a picture with words, right? Like
that's a very good alpha, by the way.
Yeah, man, you ask them to prove, right? My point is, all these are very specific services. And we have one very good team that's, for example, is trying to generate memes. So now Luna can just call that meme generator as agent and then just like pop up a meme, right? So music, memes, paying someone on chain, paying someone off chain on PayPal, Alipay, arbitrage, managing their wallets, verification of their wallets. All those things are just specific services, right? That's the pull factor. There's obviously the push, which is people just coming inbound. They say they want to tokenize different IPs or whatever, gaming agent, casters, all those things. Yeah. Would you support them?
I actually tried using different AI to make memes, and I realized it's impossible. Like, I gave up.
Yeah.
I end up the best thing is just to Google
Interesting.
something meme, and then you just go through a bunch of them yourself and then see whatever sticks. But yeah, alright. But let me know when that comes, right? I actually want to use it.
Yeah. I mean, that meme generation alone, I think is like, you just make a lot of money, to be honest. Because it's hard, actually.
It's hard. Like I went through a few routes trying to do it, not automatically, and I couldn't get it going. Basically, you can generate. Basically, the pool is not big enough, or it's not smart enough to sense the meme how it goes, and then it's not in time enough, kind of thing. But okay,
There's like a lot of human art element to it, like memes very, very tough. But yeah, go ahead.
It's more of most models are either optimized for images or they're optimized for words.
yes.
And you're trying to marry both, which is, yeah.
Okay. What is your biggest lesson as a crypto founder that went through ups and downs a little bit?
Like, I mean, my co-founders and I, we are like eternal optimists. So in a way, like, yeah, like it's not too bad for us. We just like, yeah, I mean, bull market is gonna come and someone's gonna recognize our hard work, So, and we were fine. But the problem, honestly, is more on motivating the team members, right? Like, your folks come, they are smart folks. It's a lot of opportunity cost for them, right? Like, you look at your price, it's like fucking 6 million
Yeah,
FPs. Like, what's the future here with you, right? And you're trying to pretend that you know it all and optimistic and whatever, right? And that's the hardest part, actually. It's not us. I mean, we are retarded. I mean, I think all founders are. So I think that's the toughest part. And and sometimes when prices move, like it's very sad to see people like texting me and they all in certain coins or whatever. It's very sad for me, but there's not much I can do, and sometimes it affect my personal emotion as well, and from a mental health point of view. But I'm getting better with that. I mean, it's been almost 3 years since I launched the token, but still it's hard. Yeah.
I think, dude, I absolutely love that. Thanks for sharing that, because I do think not a lot of people realize the mental toll, right? It's almost like, again, the analogy is this, like if Uber was trading publicly, in like 2012, right? Like when like TK, was getting a lot of flack from like doing all of this stuff. It's it's just that the mental toll is massive, and again, your team members' upside are also tied to the equity, or I mean, like to the token in this case, right? And like convincing them to stay is it's very, very challenging. So I'm glad that you touch a bit on that.
I mean, crypto is 24/7, bro. Crypto is 24/7. I mean, Uber, at least they can rest in the weekends. Like weekends when you dump, my TGs get 50 DMs on like, hey man, hey bro, whatever. Like,
are you selling? Who's the
many
VC that you're
reasons,
selling?
and all the random. Yeah.
Okay, we're coming to close to an end. Is there anything you want to ask us, actually?
No, just any feedback and how can I do better. A lot of people be like, hey man, you should tweet like the other guy, like more attention. It's like, okay, I'm trying, but sometimes it's not my. I try, but yeah. But any other feedback, like, yeah.
Bro, I really enjoyed this conversation, by the way. If we had this conversation a year ago, I would have vlogged a lot earlier.
Stop coping.
But yeah, I don't have any comments on it. You've been through rough and thins. Marco, anything on your side?
Yeah. On my side, I'm gonna say two things. I do want to give you credits for I think one of the things that we like to do in this podcast is to be candid, because also like I work for a prop fund, like I don't need to be too suits, even though Lambro told me I'm very suit sometimes. But I do want to give you credits because I think so many founders could have easily overpaid themselves and just checked out to retirement, right? Like yes, they're not gonna fully retire, but let's just be frank. A lot of people who raised a shit ton of money, right, in the past cycle, never really delivered, and it's almost like they didn't have this effort to at least try, right? Again, I'm not saying all of them are like that, but a good amount are. So just the fact that you try to like consistently change, it's the one-on-one token conversion, and you went through like all of that, when you can be like more relatively, okay, it doesn't work, but I overpaid myself, so it's fine, like time to do a new one, close this, right? Like you chose a path which I think is much tougher. So I'm happy to see that now it finally pays off. Yeah, and then on the second thing,
Yeah.
just when you said any feedback, it's also it's
There's,
a bit selfish,
there's a
but
lot
I
more
do
to
think
do.
you
There's a
guys
lot more
are
to do. Yeah.
positioned
Nice.
well to.
Before I ask you our last question, is there anything that you want to tell?
Oh, sorry.
Is there anything that
My
you want
connection
to
was
leak
off.
to our community?
Oh, right.
Because I noticed you guys are in the maintenance mode right now for the next few hours.
I mean, it's just constant updates. Actually, it's just constant updates. We are facing scaling issue, which honestly is a good problem to have, but at the same time, it's not tolerable. Like in my opinion, it's not an excuse, right? Like so, we're just trying to get better in the product front.
Wait, sorry. Like, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
like
Yes.
a slight Wi-Fi issue. Sorry. Like, if you don't mind, I was just gonna finish that second thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes,
So,
please.
yeah, it's not really a feedback, but I do selfishly think that you guys are the most well positioned to
Yeah.
help us get retail attraction back.
Mm.
Because I think with like even with BitTensor, like Autonomous, no one cared. Like none of my retail friends that were degening with like Axie, like they didn't care about that. There are a few teams, but you're definitely one of them that if you can successfully either help create an AI agent that attracts retail built on top of like virtuals or do something like that, then I think the whole space is going to benefit by having that in the bull in the market. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll help you guys find the exit liquidity. Yeah, 100%.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, last questions we normally do with our pod. What do you think is required to make it in crypto?
I think you need to be extremely retarded. Not. I mean, as a founder, you definitely need to be retarded. I think it's a trader. I don't know, man. I think just you either diamond hand or you just be as PvP as possible. When you're trying to do in between, it's gonna get fucked. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for your time today.
Everything empty. Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
Thanks, Vicky.
Cheers.
So, until next.